Hi, my name is Samson Wolf. I run the Leonard Peltier support group in Northern California. We're here protesting at the federal building in solidarity with the American Indian Movement West. And we're here to protest the transfer of a political prisoner named Leonard Peltier. Leonard's been in prison for 33 years for a crime he didn't commit. He was framed by the FBI for the couple murders that happened in 1975 on the Pine Ridge Reservation, which during that time there was a lot of turmoil going on the reservation, and a lot of the elders were getting murdered. And so they had asked for the American Indian Movement people to come out and help defend the elders from getting murdered. Well, Leonard was one of those people that answered the call and showed up to help defend the elders, and they were camped out on the Jumping Bull Ranch in South Dakota on the Pine Ridge Reservation when a black car came in with a couple unidentified men and started to shoot, and they killed a Native American Indian man by the name of Joe Kills-Right Stunts. Well, the Indians shot back and killed these two men. They didn't find out till later that these two men were the FBI, and so they fled because there was a whole contingency of Goon Squad, which was the tribal police at the time, the local sheriffs, the state troopers. They had armored vehicles out, and they considered this camp a compound. So they fled, and the FBI, they already knew who they wanted was Dino Butler, Rob Robidoux, and Leonard Peltier. They considered them threats. They were AIM leaders, and so they finally caught Dino Butler and Rob Robidoux and tried them on for these murders, and the jury acquitted them on the grounds of self-defense. So if Leonard Peltier would have been tried at the time with Dino Butler and Rob Robidoux, he'd be a free man today. So what that did is infuriate the FBI, and they wanted somebody to pay for the death of this FBI agent, so they put the full weight of the law against Leonard. So they coerced some people to falsify some affidavits to illegally extradite Leonard from Canada to be heard in Fargo, South Dakota by a known racist judge who came out of retirement just to hear this case, and he wanted to railroad Leonard into prison along with the FBI. Even though the prosecuting attorney said, we don't know who killed these FBI agents, but somebody has to pay. So the evidence that was allowed in in Dino Butler and Rob Robidoux's trial was not allowed in Leonard's trial. All the evidence that would have proven his innocence was not allowed. So Leonard was railroaded into prison. He's been in prison for 33 years now for a crime he didn't commit. And most recently, he's been transferred to a new prison. And in this prison, upon the transfer, he was beaten up, brutally attacked, beaten to a bloody pulp, and thrown in solitary confinement. Leonard's now 63 years old. He's an elder. Most Native peoples believe he's a respected elder, and all he's guilty of is coming to stick up for his people, and so that they would stop getting murdered. And now he's been suffering in prison for a long time. So we think what he did is an honorable thing, not a crime. It was basically a war that the American government has had against the Native American peoples of this country, and we're trying to let everybody know what's been happening with Leonard, because he has a parole hearing coming up, and this parole hearing, Leonard has he's been a role model citizen. He does a lot of political activist work, a lot of charitable work from his prison cell. So they're trying to make a bad mark. We believe the FBI set him up to get jumped and beat up, so he will have a mark on his record. So when parole comes up, he'll have a bad mark against him. They'll deny him his parole, like they continually tried to deny Leonard's parole hearing. So we're trying to educate the public now. We're out here protesting in San Francisco at the federal building, and we'll continue to protest until hopefully we can reach the ears of President Obama, and he will be able to help out with a lot of Native American issues, including Leonard Peltier's case. He's been labeled a political prisoner by Amnesty International, and there's whole countries that have been requesting the United States government to free Leonard Peltier, and I myself would like to see Leonard free. This has gone on long enough, and to this day, the FBI has not had to pay for the murder that they committed to Leonard Peltier, and it's the American citizens that have to suffer, because the Ruby Ridge incidents where the FBI killed the men, there was a large millions of dollars paid out to this man for the murder. The FBI murdered his wife and his child. They've also bumbled up the case in Waco, Texas, where the whole group of children were incinerated thanks to the help of the FBI. There's a Freeman and up in Idaho. There's been just a lot of wrong done by the FBI when all they really needed to do was come and knock on the door and say why they were there. But the FBI don't knock on the doors. They set up